kind of hand in hand with resumes, we have cover letters. And a lot of jobs, when you're applying for them, especially online with these automated kind of platforms, ask you for a cover letter. So, my question for you is, how important are cover letters? And do recruiters look at these before or after a resume, or not at all?
Mhm. So this is another one where I'll say it varies. It kind of depends on the recruiter if I'm and the hiring leader if I'm being honest. For myself, I personally view cover letters as a little bit more old fashioned, a little bit more antiquated. I'd rather the resume and LinkedIn be really well done and be able I feel like I'm usually able to glean just as much, if not more, from a good resume and good LinkedIn profile and LinkedIn activity, even in some cases, as I am from a cover letter. I think cover letters, like there's only so much creative freedom with them in general. And I would say the only time I would really look at a cover letter seriously is after a resume review. And again, taking that example of, let's say there's two candidates that are almost identical on paper in terms of their experience and skills. And in this case, they both have zero grammatical errors and zero typos, and they've both done a really good job. But we only maybe have room to take on, or the capacity to take one into the next interview phase or the first interview phase, whatever it may be. That might be like where I would look at a cover letter as a potential deal breaking factor, or to push one over the edge kind of thing. But that's a very like unique use case, a very unique situation. So my preference in general is no cover letters. We don't ask for cover letters at Hi Hello. I personally can tell you I think the last 2 or 3 jobs that I've landed myself, I haven't submitted one single cover letter. I've just focused a lot more of my time and efforts on my resume, on targeted networking with people in the industry, on my LinkedIn profile and activity, those kinds of things that I've kind of mentioned already. But again, it really does vary. You might, even in the tech industry, I know recruiters that live and die by the cover letter. I know hiring leaders that do the same. But I would say on the more kind of forward thinking, bleeding edge side of recruiting and the trend is that the importance of cover letters is definitely diminishing. So my advice would honestly be focus more of your time and efforts on tailoring your resume for each job, on making sure your LinkedIn profile is really complete and up to date, and you're being active and engaging with different posts and people there. Targeted networking, whether that's through LinkedIn or through networking events or just different things that are going on in the community, different other other social platforms as well that can be found online. Really spend your time on those things, and then really, to your point, Victor, like only include a cover letter if it's explicit, if the application or organization is explicitly asking you to include a cover letter. That's the only time that I would kind of advise or recommend to do so. That being said, again, there will be other recruiters that might watch this and completely disagree with me. But that's kind of my perspective, and it's really kind of an individual preference.